So you're headed to Palm Springs. Amazing. A trip there should start with a nice, deep sigh of relief, right? Not a sudden spike of stress. But let's be real. Getting from the runway at Palm Springs International, that's PSP, to your resort can be, well, a little tricky for first-timers. Today, we're going to break down the game plan to make sure your vacation starts the second you land. You've probably already got the flights booked, you're daydreaming about that desert sunshine, the cool blue pools, that incredible mid-century architecture. Palm Springs is just a total escape. And honestly, the last thing you want is for any kind of hassle to get in the way of that vibe. And here comes the reality check. Because for a lot of first-timers, PSP can be a bit of a shock. During the busy season, that curbside area gets packed. The waits for a rideshare can get surprisingly long, and this little bit of chaos starts to creep in, which is the exact opposite of what you signed up for. But hey, don't worry, there is a super simple fix. The real secret to a smooth arrival is all about the prep work. Seriously, just a little bit of planning before you even start packing is the absolute key to sidestepping all that potential airport stress. So let's dive into the blueprint. Okay, so the big question, when is the right time to book your ride? Well, it really depends on the season. If you're going during those peak months, think late fall all the way through spring, you need to treat your car's service just like your hotel room and book it early. For any other time of year, a good rule of thumb is just book it as soon as your flight is confirmed. Now, the key takeaway here, the pro tip is sharing your flight number. That one little piece of info is gold. It lets your driver track your flight in real time so they can adjust for any delays. It's a huge stress saver. Next up, let's talk about picking your vehicle. This seems super simple, but it's actually where a lot of people mess up. A sedan, it's perfect if you're a solo traveler, a couple, or on a business trip with, just a carry-on and a laptop bag. But, and this is a big but, if you're a family with car seats and strollers or a group heading straight for the golf course, an SUV is absolutely non-negotiable. It's not just about how many people you have, it's about all the stuff you're bringing with you. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. This is the most common mistake by a long shot. It's so easy to book a car for 3 people and completely forget that you also have 3 massive suitcases and a set of golf clubs. And that's exactly how your smooth, easy arrival turns into a stressful game of luggage Tetris right there on the curb. So the lesson is, always account for your cargo. Okay, so you've planned ahead, you've booked the right car, awesome. Now let's fast forward to arrival day and talk about how this all comes together. Here is your game plan for a totally flawless pickup experience right at PSP. This little checklist is all about getting rid of any confusion at the curb. And notice this key instruction. Get your bags first. Meet your driver after you have everything in hand. This simple thing prevents them from having to circle the terminal over and over while you're stuck at the baggage claim. The other steps are just about smart communication. Keep your group together with one-point person, be upfront about big stuff like strollers, and of course, keep your phone on and handy the moment you touch down. It's a simple formula that makes the whole pickup quick and totally seamless. All right, now that we know what we should do, let's flip it around. One of the fastest ways to travel like a pro is to just learn from what other people did wrong. So here are the top 3 rookie mistakes you'll want to avoid. First up, the single biggest pitfall. Yep, it's the luggage again. We've talked about it, but it bears repeating because it is the #1 cause of travel days stress. Forgetting to account for every single bag, every golf club, every stroller, it can lead to some really frustrating delays right at the starting line of your vacation. Now, the second common mistake is just as easy to avoid. Forgetting to share that flight number basically leaves your driver flying blind. They have no way to track delays or early arrivals, and what should have been a coordinated pickup just turns into total guesswork. That one piece of information is the absolute key to a perfectly timed meeting. And a third mistake, well, this one can send your driver on a literal wild goose chase. So Palm Springs has a ton of resorts, hotels, and gated communities that have really similar sounding names, or sometimes even multiple entrances. Just saying, take me to the big resort isn't going to cut it. You've got to provide a full, clear street address, and maybe even a specific instruction like drop me at the main lobby. It prevents wrong turns and gets you where you're going so much faster. So after all this planning, what's the end result? What's the payoff? It's really simple. You get the arrival you actually wanted in the first place. Calm, cool, and collected. You just step off the plane and glide right into your vacation. And that's really what this all boils down to, isn't it? This isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about taking control of your arrival, completely removing that uncertainty, and choosing comfort from the get-go. It sets this premium, reliable, stress-free tone for your entire trip from the second you leave the terminal. So picture this. You're sitting back in your private ride, watching the palm trees glide by, and the airport chaos is already a distant memory. Your vacation has officially begun. So you tell me, was that little bit of planning worth it? You bet it was.